let's get this show on the road. I've just come on live a little bit early so I can do like links and shit. So let's see how this goes. And I'm here a little bit early just so I can get like a link and stuff like that sorted out. So just, mind yourselves. I am multitasking. Let's see if I can see it on the old computer. Hope you're well, by the way. It's a beautiful day here at Gillies and Mackay. The sun is shining, the wind is blowing. Let's go to share. That's me. Hope you're well, by the way. Gillies and Mackay. Done. Excellent. Let's get this over here. So I'm back in the office, which is a novelty because I've started this new routine where I stay at home 1 week and then I come in 1 week. And the reason that I need to do that is because in order for me to actually do my CEO job, I need peace and quiet without folk annoying me. And that's what happens when I come in here. People are always up in my grill. So this is my new routine. I'm feeling refreshed and energized. I'm looking forward to the day. The thing is though, Amy, my wonderful Amy, who does all this stuff for me, does all my marketing for Gillies and Mackay. She's an absolute powerhouse, total unicorn, amazing at everything. She's buggered off on holiday. So I have to do this Facebook Live in order to keep up the rhythm, the consistency. And she's wanting me to talk all things Radiata Garden Rooms. And I thought, what better way to start talking about Radiata Garden Rooms is like, how did they come about? What's the deal with them? Where did they come from? And it was back in 2023. I'll just tell you how it was, take you on the journey of how the Gillies Mackay Summerhouse, that was our absolute legacy build that equated to 80% of our turnover, was enviable by all standards of single skin buildings, was our pride and joy, was the dedication that we had to give it every year where we would shut down the workshop to make all its windows and doors. It was mad. We were controlled by it. Unfortunately, it's one thing that you do need to understand with timber buildings is when they're single skinned, it's one layer of wall and all the external weather penetrates that wall. And when you live in Scotland and it's pissing with rain for about 6 weeks, it's horizontal, it's battering the shit out of your building, the chances are that that water is going to ingress and it's going to cause some issues internally. And if you don't know how to deal with those issues, then it becomes a bigger problem. And this was okay because these were seasonal buildings and we had a maintenance plan and we explained exactly how to look after these buildings, and they did require looking after. Unfortunately, the way in which the market went was a lot of influx of really cheap garden rooms, and the expectation for all year round use became heightened, and these seasonal summer houses were getting tarnished with all year round use when they're not capable of withstanding that, and that they did actually require a fair bit of maintenance. And so it became a complete bugbear. It was like trying to re-educate over and over and over again, just like falling on deaf ears, and we just had enough. Making windows and doors, mortise and tenon as well, like that is laborious, it's very costly, and for them to be single glazed, and the ceiling that's involved with that too. It was just, and there was movement, obviously, because timber doors and timber windows move. It's just headache after headache after headache. And then the final nail in the coffin was the decline in sales. So obviously, when the whole COVID situation happened, everybody was like needing something for their garden. And so the garden room market went mental. And it was like the decline in the summer houses versus the uptake in 3-tier buildings, and how we were then going to manage that. So in a short space of time, I had to make a very big decision. A product line that was serving 80% of our revenue and something that we'd made for like over 25 years, I was now saying we're not going to do that anymore. And instead, we need to come up with a new plan. And you know, like when you have to make these types of decisions, it's not easy, and you are, you know, you're taking it on a premonition, you're taking it on future projection, you're taking it on opportunity, and also like change now, or you know, do or die, you know. So if you don't kill it, it's going to kill you. So the demise of the summer houses, if I hadn't made that call, you know, they would have killed us. And so my team, fully supporting, obviously, because they're fabulous. But, you know, there was some sort of grumbling underneath where they were fucking shit scared that I'd made the wrong decision. And that's totally fair. Like, I totally get that. And it was a big worry. Like, we were putting all our eggs in this new basket, and we weren't 100% sure if it would work. Well, the team might have not been. But for me, I was dead certain. And the reason why I was so damn sure was because I took every challenge that the summer house gave us and every want of the market and created these radiatas. So they're very specific. They're exactly what is needed for a building under 12 metres squared. They had to be weatherproof. So that was first and foremost. I didn't want any hassle with any major maintenance or just a constant headache of whether or not, you know, they were going to ingress water or anything like that. So layering the walls. Now this is something that I want to do throughout the company. I don't want to have single skin sheds, much to everybody else's upset. I'd rather just have everything 3-tier. Then I know for certain that it is fit to withstand the Scottish climate. And so the radiatas had to have that layering system involved. So it's got the breather cavity, and it's got the insulation, it's got the internal line. Like that is 100% has to be. The walls, the roof and the floor are all insulated, obviously, because if you're not insulating the roof, where does your heat go? Still educating that point. Maintenance free, so everything. So the doors and windows. We've been using UPVC for many years. And UPVC is brilliant. It's perfect. It's absolutely ideal for the much larger buildings that we do. The Blackstone rooms, for example, perfect. Garages, bang on. However, in order for us to be able to keep the design element of the summer houses, to pay homage to where they came from, the UPVC wouldn't work. It's too thick, it's too clunky, the design element of it is not right for these little, small, slim buildings. So we had to find something else, and I knew it had to be aluminium. Now, the reason why I knew that is because I'd been getting so much from my suppliers about aluminium. Like, people had been talking about it to me for ages and ages, and we'd done a couple of different custom builds with aluminium prior, and we love it, and it's great to work with. So that was the decider. Like, in order for it to keep in with the design, that they needed this slim profile, and the answer was aluminium, and then it was double glazed, obviously. And yes, they have a higher price tag. However, I just didn't want to compromise, and I knew that the pricing element would come into effect just shortly. So let's keep it stage by stage. The cladding. We've been using Redwood Scandinavian since day one. And we always source our redwood from the Arctic Circle, so like the as far north as you possibly get. So it's nice and slow grown, and that's how we roll. And we get that in untreated and dressed, and we get it in treated as well. Now, for the radiatas, again, back to the design element. I wanted something special, and I'd used a radiata on a custom build, and I loved it at that point. And we're talking about thermotreated timber, which is entirely different to untreated, obviously. And what it does is it blasts out the moisture and the sugar within the timber and preserves it effectively. So it also comes in this absolutely beautiful, like, chocolate tone, which just like seems so alien. Like the way in which it shimmers in different types of weather, like when it's totally different when it's in full sun versus when it's pissing down with rain versus when it's just cloudy and overcast. Like, it shimmers itself. It's just beautiful. And it's straight as a die, and there's no defect, and it's just like there's so many good qualities to Radiata and us using it. So we shifted the design into Radiata with aluminium windows and doors. When it came to the roofing, not without a question, steel box profile, absolutely. We know with steel box profile, 100% reliable. However, we can't put steel box profile on our shaped roofs, and I was adamant I was keeping two shape designs. So this is the pitched corner that's 5-sided and the pyramid 4-sided. So I had to then source shingles. Now we'd already had a carry-on with shingles. Why? Broken Britain, that's why. And we can't get the type of shingle that we need, that we want, that we can guarantee in Scotland. Like Isola stopped serving the UK and you can't get it anywhere, blah blah blah. So I spent like, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks like hounding these Norwegians, like, please, for the love of God, will you sell me these shingles, right? And they're a massive company, Isola, and they were just so sweet to me. They were so nice, and I'm still to this day so very grateful. And they put me in touch with a wholesaler, Robert in Glasgow, who bought other materials from them direct in a massive like container. And then Robert, who happened to be a Gillies Mackay customer, yes, said that he would buy in the shingles that I want and get them to us. So that's how we do the shingles. So even though you can't get them here, we can get them here because folk are nice to me. So happy with that. So we got our shingles. I wasn't going to compromise. There was like eco slate and things like that. Again, just not right for the aesthetic of the building, which is absolutely crucial for me. I want my buildings to be pretty. Now I'll do custom builds. Obviously, you can have your window doors whatever you like. They're all made to order. However, I have been doing this a long time and I do know what actually looks good. So the 4 designs that we picked are based on customer preference, but also the ones that we know ourselves are going to sit aesthetically in any size of garden, because these garden rooms are specific to under 12 square meters, which means that they're typically going into gardens that might be restricted on space. So the design element limiting the radiatas to 4 shapes and then limiting them to 3 different sizes is absolutely crucial to the price point. So by restricting the design element of them, so they're not customizable. If you want something bigger, if you're wanting something different, go to Blackstone Garden Rooms. These are specific to Radiata, okay? So the Radiata style and size is absolutely crucial for us to be able to use our buying power. So we have everything completely predicted. So we know how much timber we actually need, how much windows and doors we need, how much steel we need, how much shingles we need, how much lining we need, how much insulation we need, how much flooring we need. All of it we already know because we have everything preset and sized, which means that then we can buy in bulk. And because they're under 12 meters squared, we can make them affordable. We can use the best quality of material on a much smaller scale and still be able to compete price tag wise, not compete, beat price tag wise for garden rooms under 12 square meters to the specification that we make. So yeah, that is the story. So the Summerhouses had to go. They were going to kill us. Then I designed the Radiata to meet all of the pains of what Summerhouses, what they did to us, the trauma. And then I took them to market, and it was a bit scary. It was, until we got a bit of validation. We did a couple of prototypes. Big shout out to the Hayes in the village next to us. They took one of our first ever shaped ones, and they have helped us immeasurably with like just double checking things, little tiny tweaks and improvements that we've had to make over the years. We've been able to check in on these buildings. One of our first ones was Vorlich at the end of 2023, and yeah, so like we were nervous, but ultimately we knew it was the right decision to make. Summerhouses had to go, but in return for that, we had to make sure what we were offering was absolutely the best. And why do I know? Like, how do I know what is the best? Well, I've been doing it for too long. That's why. I know everything there is to know about the garden room market. I know what's on offer, and I know 100%, right? If you want something bigger than 12 square meters, there are an abundance of amazing companies out there that will build you a building control compliant, all singing, all dancing, up to the house build standard. Absolutely. Like, have at it. There's some amazing folk out there that do that. We also do that. But that's not what I'm selling here. I'm selling a Radiata garden room, which is under 12 square meters. And I will ensure that everything about that specification is absolutely perfect for that size. And I'll guarantee it for 30 years. Because that's who we are. We want to do the right thing, and we'll just not stop. Every time you get a Gillies Mackay, it is 100% the best Gillies Mackay that we've made yet, because we are constantly striving for improvement. We're constantly refining. We're constantly making it better. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I need to say any more than that just now. I feel like I've went on a massive tangent, a huge rant. Hopefully you've managed to follow along okay. I'm actually buzzing. I think I've had too much caffeine. So it's good to be back on the lives. Thanks for having me. Any questions, honestly, please, for the love of God, ask us. These Radiatas, they're fully project managed by Gillies Mackay. We do the groundworks, we do the electrics, we do the planning permission if you need it. Not that most do, because they are permitted development. It's really about placement and if you're conservation. If you need to speak about any of that, if you want a site visit to just figure out which style and size is the best for you, that's what we're here for. We do it all, everything. Just let us take care. I know that there's availability end of August and September, and then we shut down October and concentrate on the other buildings that don't need all internal finishings, because with the unpredictability of the weather, it's a total pain in the ass trying to do linen insulating in the piss and rain. So yeah, I mean, really, honestly, if you're thinking about a garden room and it is under 12 meters squared, I swear to you, there is nothing out there that is what we make. For the price that we make it at, for the specification that we can do it at, and for the level of service that you'll receive. It's just Gillies Mackay, baby. Have a lovely day. Bye.